What's up, everybody? I'm back with Lenny TV, and no, we're not going to do a whole bunch of music things like before. I'm just going to do a couple podcasts throughout the year, just to talk to people and so everybody can relate to them and everything. And I'm here with Miss Gia.
Hey, everybody.
So, what's going to happen today is we're going to talk about basically your life, what you've been through, what things you got coming up, programs you got, programs that you're planning, and things like that. So, we can go ahead and start when it came to. I guess I want to go with the breakdown first and the mental health.
Okay.
Why do you think it's important that black people, especially black women, to get help when it comes to like mental health?
I feel like it's important because I just see my generation now self-medicating.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I participated in that with weed, but a lot of people take it a step further than weed. Like that was my drug, but some other people's drug of choice might be Molly or it might be Percocets. And I just really see my city deteriorating because they're self-medicating instead of getting help.
Mm. And do you see like a lot of, I know weed doesn't cause overdoses, but do you see like a lot of overdoses happening too, or do you read about it?
People's favorite rappers, what's that guy's name? Fredo. He was one of Chief Keef's friends. He just died because his kidneys, I think he was having problems with his kidneys, but it was from him sipping lean.
Mm.
Like young boys and young girls out here, like the drugs that they choose are way harder than marijuana. Like me, I could bounce back because I only chose to smoke weed, but for somebody else, popping pills, it's no coming back from that.
And you think that's all due to them being stressed out?
I think it's due to stress, post-traumatic stress. Like I lost a cousin, and had I not grieved properly, I probably would have stepped back into self-medicating. But who's to say this time I wouldn't have chose perks, or I wouldn't have chose Molly, or I wouldn't have stuck to weed or whatever. And I feel like a lot of people in our community, we ignore mental health because of the stigma that's on it. Like, oh, you crazy. You really might be crazy. You really might need to go get yourself checked out.
So how old were you when you started like smoking weed or like doing marijuana?
I was 16.
16, okay. And that, was it like for fun or like that's like when the stress kind of kicked in?
It was for a girl.
Okay.
It was a girl.
Mm-hmm.
I like this girl. And she was like, this is what I do. She drunk. Like she drank. I couldn't drink. So I was like, all right, well, let me try this with you. We smoked. I was like, yeah, I like you and I like how this feels. So I just kept it with me. Like when I was 16, I was already going through something. My mom was being investigated. She was on her way to prison. And me and my brother, we were dealing with that because it made it to the papers. So that was my way to like escape. But it was also my way to escape with a girl. So I was like, okay, this is a hobby that I could hold on to forever. If I'm ever stressed in life, I just go back to smoking. She taught me how to do it properly, so I wasn't wasting her weed. But, that's what I stuck with.
When your mom went through that tough situation, did you start to notice like how fake people were and things like that? Because like I know I kept in contact with y'all and everything, my family did, but did you notice people shunning you guys and not talking to you guys?
It was people shunning us. It was a lot of labels because, like I said, it made it to the paper. It was public information at that point in time, and my mom didn't get a chance to let us know like what happened. She was being investigated, but it made it to the papers, and I had people texting my phone. I will never forget the day. Everybody was texting me like, you good, you good, you good. But I remember my real friends, like they paid for prom for me because my mom couldn't afford it. Y'all, like you said, your family was always there first. It was like a second family. But everybody else, because she had a label as a thief, it was just like, oh, that's boober kids. Like those is the marked ones. We not messing with them.
And then that's when you notice the fake people, because then like it's like you're not asking questions or you're not trying to be there.
You're just trying to figure out like, well, when she got to turn herself in, or when is she going to jail? No, I can remember the people that asked me, "Are you okay?" And those are the people that I still keep in contact with to this day.
That's great, and that also like kind of added to what you started dealing with, and at that point, were you like, did you have to like pay more bills or like go meet your mom at a certain thing for like probation?
Definitely.
What was going on at that point?
What happened was my freshman year of college, I came home spring semester so that I could be with my brother because I was 19, he was 16 at the time. So I had to drive him to practice. I had to be the one, because our dad, he was the absentee father. I'm not even going to act like he was around during the time, because he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I had to step up. Like, my brother still had basketball games. Somebody still needed to cook for him. Somebody still needed to grocery shop. It was like I had to put college on hold to be my brother's mom. So I moved out. I was living on campus, but I moved out spring semester, and I actually think I withdrew too. I didn't go back.
Okay.
And yeah, I was just taking care of things at home. Me, my mom, my brother, and my grandma. Once my mom got out, she was still on probation, so it was like her movement was still limited. So I pretty much had to be like the mom of the house.
And you were going to UD, right?
I was going to UD.
Yeah, because you were already like smart and an incredible student at Wilmington Charter, and you like doing good at UD. So like being a great student, all of a sudden you had to cut that off, you know, to take care of your family. And so at this point, you know, you said you're taking care of your brother. You're like a single mom at this point, and you know your dad's not around, and you also looking out for your mom.
Yes.
You know, and then you gotta probably hear backlash or like you
The
probably
whole
feel.
city.
Yeah.
I wanted to fight anybody that I was like, Mom, send me their number, send me their address. Like anybody that say anything bad about you. All she kept saying to me was either pray or go to church. And then they tried to get me in counseling, but like I said, as black women, we like I'll never forget it. I sat across the table from the counselor and looked at her for like 2 hours. Like, you, first of all, you're a white lady. You don't know nothing about me. I'm not about to share my story with you. I was so defiant. It didn't make any sense. But I came around to it through talking to my aunt. She was just like, Gia, this is really important. So I started to open up in counseling, and that really did help me.
So at first though, when you talked to her, you felt like you didn't need help?
I felt like I did not need help. I felt like I was the strongest woman on earth. I put my mom on my back, my brother on my back. Like, I felt like she couldn't do anything for me. So I felt like I was wasting her time by being there.
And when did you guys like move in? You moved into an apartment or something like that you were?
Yeah, when I was 18, I was still mad at my mom, so I moved out. I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, I can't help you anymore. I want to do this on my own. I struggled just like anybody else. I should have stayed home. Probably would have been able to save money to really live on my own, but I rushed the first time because I was still angry with her. And that was due to, like I said, me not opening up in counseling about what I was doing, like what I was going through with her. I kind of just stuffed all of that down and started self-medicating. At the time, I was smoking. I was smoking a lot. I noticed like when I was going through things at home, that's when I was smoking more. I was becoming more dependent on it. But I was lying to myself about how dependent I had became on weed.
Okay. And I think a lot of young people go through that phase of like wanting to leave anyway. So it's like, especially like 18, 19, those college years, you just want to be independent. So you want to break away. But at the same time, it's like, see, back then it was easier for them because the bills were cheaper. Now it's ridiculous.
If looking for an apartment in Delaware now, I'm looking at other states. Like when I do and I am ready to live in, I was looking at Ohio. To live in Ohio, the rent was like $400 for a 1-bedroom apartment. And here it's like $800. Yeah, $900.
And it's ridiculous. And then on top of that, you got utility, and it's like, come on now. And then
it's not included.
Yeah. Then cable.
So you really, by the end of it, what you paying, like $1,000, $1,200 to live by yourself? I'm gonna stay home.
Yeah, that's how it is. Cause like a lot of times, I notice like when it comes to East Indian families and Chinese families and Korean families, they have their children. Well, the children they decide to stay home until they get married. Usually, you know, I got friends that's been in there since they was 30. 31 or whatever like that, and they just like, I'm waiting till I get married. And
that's what the Bible says. Like you're not supposed to leave the nest until you find a good thing. You haven't found a good thing, even if that means like going to school. I should have just came back home. I should have just came, but I was so angry with her, and I was angry with her, like I said, because I didn't open up in counseling about being mad at my mom for what she had put us through. Because she did do something bad, like regardless of her reasons, I know the reasons, but still it kind of like took a toll on our whole family.
Now, when you guys, like what helped you though? When did you start the counseling actually?
I started the counseling, I started it when I was 16, but I didn't take it seriously until I was like 18 or 19.
Okay. Now, around 18 or 19, is that when the mental breakdown happened, or that kind of happened?
Mental
after?
breakdown just happened just recently, December 16th. That's when I got checked into Meadowwood.
Okay.
So it was like, I had, because of our situation, she got fired from the city of Wilmington, and that took away our counseling. So I had to stop counseling abruptly. I didn't have to stop, but my pride was telling me I'm not about to take no handout from this lady and let her keep seeing me when I can't pay her. So I was just like, nah, I can't do it. Like, you get what I'm saying? I could have got the help, but I was just being proud, and I stopped the counseling. So that's why come December 16, 2017, I broke down again. But this time, this was the worst breakdown like that I ever had in my life.
And it happened while you were like driving, or like?
I was driving.
Okay, you were driving, and then like you just like started crying out of nowhere.
I started crying out of nowhere, and I started. It was like I was talking to God, but I was like your book. I was dreaming out loud, like fantasizing about the life that I wanted, but I knew I couldn't have it here. I don't know why I didn't think I could have it here. I felt like the city of Wilmington took anything that was good to me, so it was just like I want to drive away. I want to drive away from here. Like I rode around 95 like 3 times before I could actually figure out where my actual destination was to. And then that's when I ended up at the place that I stopped at, which was the last place I went to was to drop my girlfriend off to work. And I walked in her job, like I was like, you gotta take me to the hospital because I can't take it no more. Like I don't know what's wrong with me, but something's wrong with me. And that was my first time actually admitting that I needed help.
Now, when you guys went to the hospital after that, or you went to like a psychiatrist? Like what?
No,
okay.
After that we had went to her house, and I told her put me in the shower, but I was like, hide me, don't let nobody see me like this. Just put me in the shower. They was like, I forgot that I had called my mom, and I had called my dad too because I needed a ride to the hospital. Because at first I'm like, oh shoot, she's at work, she can't stop work. She left work, she got in the car, and they actually fired her for leaving work for me. So we got in the car, and I was like, well, at least let me take a shower first because I know they're going to keep me here because of how I'm acting. So she was like, okay. And I was like, wash my hair too. She was like, okay. So she took me in the bathroom. I got in the shower. She started washing my hair, and then I just started crying like in fetal position. And that's when I knew, dang, this is bad. Like, you breaking down for real. So they called my mom, and my mom, she was like rushing me, like, get up, get dressed, come on. The whole ride to the Rockford Center, my mom was crying, but I was playing music, like real soft, just rocking. And the music that I kept playing was Jhené Aiko's new album. Like, that was the only thing that calmed me down.
Okay.
So after that, we went to Rockford, and she called my dad, and my dad was like, no, don't take her there. They're not really a good mental institution. So I fell asleep. I woke up, and I was at Meadowwood, and she got me something to eat. They took me in the back to do an evaluation. And when they took me in the back, I was like, I think they're going to keep me here. So I went back to the glass, and I was like, Mom, what's going on? Like, what are they doing? She was like, I don't know. And yeah, after that, I spent 5 days in there. And those 5 days really saved my life because had I not been in there, I wouldn't have been able to handle the bad news that I got once again, which was that my cousin got killed.
And when you were at Meadowwood, like the first thing that they did was like try to calm you down, like get you, like what happened at Meadowwood?
First thing that they do is medicate you. They put you are heavily sedated. Like, they asked me, they was like, what pod do you want to be in? Like, do you feel like you would harm yourself or harm other people? I'm like, what in the Sam? I said, oh no, they really think I'm crazy. I'm like, just put me where the regular people at. And they was like, okay, you feel like you want to, what else did they ask me? Oh, they was like, are you hungry? Do you want to eat something? I'm like, no, this is state food. Like, I'm cool. And then they was asking me, all I wanted to do that day was just hear my mom's voice or hear my girlfriend's voice. So I kept asking them, y'all got my phone numbers? And they was like, nope. So basically, my first day there, it was just the medication. Like, I didn't like that though. I don't like pills. I don't like having to take pills. So they put me on this medicine, and yeah, I just went to sleep. And it calmed me down, but I just went to sleep. So I felt like Sleeping Beauty while I was in there.
So the whole time you were there, like what, like, was there any type of therapeutic type of thing going on?
Yeah, we used to have groups.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have 2 groups. It would be one led by a doctor. It's called cognitive behavioral therapy. And then there was another one for a lot of people in there. Like I said, outside of there, they self-medicate. So it would be AA groups or Alcoholics Anonymous, but you can replace it for whatever your high was.
Okay.
Like, but I wasn't trying to, I'm like, man, I smoke weed. Like, my stuff is regular. Y'all not about to get me. But once I started paying attention to the groups and going to the groups, I was like, dang, I really do have a problem because I smoke too much, way too much. When I came in there, it was a joint in my pocket.
Oh man, all right. So you said that really helped you though, because at that point it was like an awakening for you.
Yeah.
And once you left Meadowwood, what were your steps, or like what were you thinking? Like, what am I gonna do now to help myself?
I did what every black woman tries to do. Like you said, just go back to work. Like, work it out. Okay, as long as I'm working, I'll be distracted. That's what I was trying to do. Distract myself from my recovery. And I ended up having another episode. And this time, my mom took me to Christiana Hospital. And because I was so irate at Christiana Hospital, from Christiana Hospital, they took me to this place called Recovery Innovations, where you spend 23 hours to get yourself together. So when I was at Recovery Innovations, they was like, okay, Giovanni, do you see now the severity of your situation? I'm like, yeah, I need a counselor and I need a psychiatrist because I can't do this by myself. So they were like, okay, do you want us to find you one? Like, what do you want us to do? And basically that made me realize that I can't do this by myself. Mental health is not something that you can do by yourself. And smoking is not going to help you do it by yourself. So I had got in touch with my old therapist, scheduled an appointment, and from there she had got me connected with the psychiatrist. The office is called Serene Minds. So yeah, that's when it really, like, I had to take my mental health seriously.
And she picked the psychiatrist out for you, or you got to pick them?
She picked it out for me. It was like one of the ones that she was affiliated with.
Oh, okay. All right. And so from then on, with the psychiatrist, that's when, because you said it was like kind of most recently, so like, is that when you start to level up when it comes to, like, you know, becoming more positive?
I became more positive. Even I recovered rapid speed once I had a psychiatrist. I hated taking the medicines, but it was like, okay, I'm finally on medicine that's for me, because he switched up my dosage so that I didn't feel so like sedated. And that was able to make me think clearer during the day, to have restful sleep at night. And I realized, oh shoot, while I'm recovering, I'm going to need help. I'm going to need something like a team, because I can't do this by myself. And when I was doing it by myself, smoking weed and driving myself crazy, like literally, like it wasn't helping me. So I knew what I wanted to do, what I wanted to accomplish for the year, but I had to be real with myself and say, you need help too.
And you needed a team too. So like, who knew? Like, who kind of knew your situation? Like, that was close to you. Like, obviously your girl and your mom, but who else knew?
My cousins, my grandma, and then I reached out to my old pastor.
Would they come like visit you or come talk to you?
Yeah, when I was trying to get myself together, this was all like in the beginning of January. I was trying to get myself together, and my pastor and my aunts and my mom, like, they were having a meeting. He was like, she didn't have a psychotic experience. It was like God had to be, like, he had to get all the way in her. He had to break her all the way down to make her what she's supposed to be. And he was like, she's supposed to be a leader, but you know, you got to get broken down to get built back up. But this time I got built back up in Christ. And now I feel like I can go out into the world and do what I'm supposed to do, but in my right mind.
Okay. And you also talked about how, like, recently how you, like, lost your cousin. Like, when you got that news, like, obviously it probably, you know, was hard for you. But, like, what was going through your mind at that moment? Like, because when I lost my cousin recently, like, I had broke down. I just, like, I couldn't take it. So, like, what did you... Obviously, like, after you know, probably grieved and everything, what were you thinking about, like, when he was just gone, and like, what could you do?
I was angry, but I wanted to help kids that were like him and like me, and that's kids that's, you know, we we were on the streets, but we're not on the streets in a bad way. Like, he came here to go to a memorial for one of his friends. He was in college in South Carolina. He was supposed to be on his way back to school, and it really hurt my heart because I'm like, dang, like, bullets don't got nobody name on it. Like, you, wrong place, wrong time. Like, that's how I felt. And I started to think, like, yo, you can't take everybody with you. You really can't. So, like, it's like some people you can save and other people you can't. But I was just thinking, like, okay, I want to start a group, but I want to start a group for kids that was like him, for kids that want to better themselves, not just for people that want to stay in the streets. Because it is some people like that really, they're okay with that. They're content with that lifestyle. And I felt like by him going and grieving their death, like, wrong place, wrong time.
And did that spark your interest when it came to starting programs, or was that already in your mindset before?
I already had that in my mindset before, but I told myself because I didn't finish school that I needed to wait, but God's timing, not mine. So I was blessed with the opportunity, like, even after all that I've been through, to start the group in my old church.
That's good. And so how long has that been running? Like a week, or is it going to...
Well, actually, we're going to have our first event on February 9th from 6:30 to 8 at the Claymore Senior Center.
Okay. And so you're excited about this?
Yes,
it's like,
yeah.
It's like, I guess it's another step in your journey, or like another chapter in your book.
It is. I feel like it's the first phase of my company, and I feel like also it's the first phase of me properly grieving, because I'm going to be able to reach kids that are going through the same thing, that lost somebody to the streets, who may not have been in the streets, or they lost somebody to the streets through senseless violence. Like, I can reach kids like that.
And you also want to start writing too?
Yes, I do. I want to start writing about my life, so that way I can reach more people. I feel like God put me through all of those situations so that I could reach other people who've been through similar things.
Yeah, and because you definitely had a rough life when it comes, like, everybody has a story to tell.
Exactly.
And like, but the ones, unfortunately, that's the most painful, are the ones that's the most interesting.
Yeah.
That's the ones people feed into, and that's the ones that help people the most. And with that, those are usually the most successful stories too, because like, it's like, if I'm all the way at the bottom, I have nowhere else to look but up top.
Yeah.
So all you can do is just climb up.
Exactly.
And with your journey so far, like you said, you got the program about to start. You've been you're about to start writing and things like that. What else do you look forward to? Like, when people look back and think about you, or when people meet you, what do you want them to get out of it?
They know I like to dance, so I'm trying to plan a concert. Like, probably, I don't know when, but like his old school, they recently just did a concert for him and his mom to like memorialize his death. I thought that was really dope, but maybe I could do it, I don't know, one of the high schools in Delaware. But I like to party, but I want kids to party, go back, the parties that we had, safe parties.
Safe ones, yeah.
You don't got to worry about guns, you don't got to worry about fighting. It's just really us enjoying our time. I want to bring that back to the city.
Yeah. Those days, they were fun.
They was fun.
They were, because they were safe. Nothing like crazy ever happened.
Exactly.
And speaking of your cousin, like, I always heard, like, he was just the life of the party.
Yes, he was.
The life in the room, So especially, I know it could be tough already for a parent, for your uncle and things like that. But for the cousins and the friends, like, did it feel like like just that big ball of energy would just like suck
it felt like his spirit was gone, but it felt like his spirit, like, now I can carry on his spirit. I can bring back that big heart, that warmth, that love, and the party, like being the life of the party. Now I can. He died, but I feel like I can carry on what he was trying to do, because he used to. I remember the last time I seen him, I pulled up on him because I was like, yo, cuz, where can I get some weed? But he was selling tickets for a fashion show. And he was like, you going to buy it? You going to get people to buy the tickets? Blah, 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 this and the third. Stuff like that. Like, he was trying to do stuff like that for the city. And I want to bring that spirit back.
Okay. I see what you're saying. And with this senseless, like, violence that's going on, especially in Wilmington, I never could get where it was coming from. Like when I did my internship with the police department, I never knew like there were like gangs. I mean, I never knew that there were gangs. And I always thought that was like a California thing, a New York thing. That's just me being a nerd, though. You know, I was never around that.
Right.
So I was just like they were naming me all these gangs on this piece of paper, and I was like, wow, we got this many, and they were talking about how it was ages like 13 to 16, and I'm just like. And like I was mind boggled because I couldn't figure out like how it all started or where it came from. Like and then like they really just have blocks, and it was just confusing, you know, because I'm all new to this.
Yeah.
When it comes to you knowing about the violence and the gangs and everything, it's like what's going through your mind? And
I feel like everybody is territorial, but I feel like you can protect and give to your city in a different way than trying to say you're from this street or that street, or you're from this neighborhood or that neighborhood, because if you walk 5 minutes, you're in the same, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, west side is right there, and then east side is right down the street. So why are we being so territorial when our city is so small? We really need to bring, like, if Philly is a city of brotherly love, like, it used to be a sign over South Bridge that said Wilmington was a place to be somebody. Like, that's the kind of energy I want to bring back to the city. And I see people already doing that, but they're shunning, like, the neighborhoods that need the most love.
That's true. That's so true. Because me just seeing, like, those young boys that got killed in Howard, or at Howard, and the girl that died at Howard, it was like, what's going on? Like, it's sad, and to me, it was confusing, too, because it's like, you do so much to try to help, but it seems like it's a lost cause sometimes, because it's like, it's always like a domino effect, or it's like, when I watch movies or documentary, they were talking about the same thing in the 90s, in the 80s, like, the black community got to do this, we got to do that, and it's like, what the? It's like,
what else can we do? Like, we done so much.
It's like, oh my God. But I guess, like, you know, like they say, it's don't give up, but it's like, damn, what else can we do? And for me, I'm not gonna lie, like, all my motivation was to help, but at the same time, I think I had to find myself first, figure out what I wanted to do, figure out what I love, what my passion was, then go ahead and try to help. Because, like, I honestly didn't know I didn't know who I was. You know what I mean? When it came to, I thought I wanted to be a police officer, but really I didn't. It wasn't me.
That's not
you know. So
your dad tried to talk me into that at a job fair. I was like, no. He was like, yeah, you know, you would be so well respected, and I'm like, respect can't save no bullet.
Nope. It is, and that's the thing. So like, once you found yourself, that you think that kind of helped you too, when it came to like, okay.
I feel like the way that I can bring people in is by taking them to church. It's either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much, it's cut and dry, just that simple. That's why my program is gonna be, it's affiliated with my church, Joshua Harvest. But like he said, I don't know, it's just like whosoever will, let them, you know. I'm not pushing it on you, but here's what I can offer to you, and go spread that same love at your home, in your neighborhood. Like, that's all I want to give, is just love, like, to kids they named problem kids, or they kicked out of schools, or they like me, they're trying to come out to their family, like the forgotten ones. Because that's what I feel like it is. All those kids is acting. I don't think it's a such thing as a bad child. I feel like it's the kids that are like me. They gotta do what they gotta do. They gotta survive. They gotta, like I said, stack or starve. But why you gotta take from somebody else's family, somebody else's plate to do that? That's what I want to show them.
Okay. And let's say a mom goes to your program, and she likes what she sees, right? And she wants to introduce you to her 14-year-old son, who's going through a lot. He's probably a troubled kid. And when you do meet up with them, he and you say you know you want to take him to the church. He's like, nah, I don't do the church thing. I don't believe in God and all that stuff. Like, how would you talk to him to help persuade him to, you know, do?
I would ask him, what does he believe in? Because you gotta believe in something, and if you don't believe in anything at all, that's why you're so lost. Like, you don't pray to Allah. You don't, like, because my dad is Muslim, and a lot of people, like, I learned about a lot of religions before I chose my religion. My dad, he wanted one of his kids to be Muslim, so he used to take me to mosque, but that wasn't for me. So, like, yeah, I don't know. You got to believe in something or you'll fall for anything.
True, and I'm right with you with that, with believing in God and things. And the thing is, like, I know it's probably getting harder and harder. So, like, let's say the 14-year-old boy, right? He says he's just an atheist. Like, he's like, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in nothing. I just think, you know, when you go, we go. Like, that's how I live my life. And when you go, we go. Like, because you're gonna go through challenges.
Go through that, yeah.
So, like, how else would you talk to him?
I gotta connect with him in some way. Like, okay, do you like sports? Do you like it's other ways to reach kids like that. Do you, like we were talking about music. Do you like music? Who's your favorite rapper? This, that, and the third. Then from there, you gotta change your diet. And by change your diet, I mean you gotta change the things that you see, the things that you read, the things that you hear. Because if all you're listening to is shoot 'em up, kill 'em up, shot 'em down, like that's what you're gonna go out in the world and produce. I could put you on to somebody here. He rap, but he rap about this. She sing, but she sing about this. Like, it's different ways to reach kids. Like I said, these are the forgotten ones. And I feel like, what was it, in '08, Bush said no child left behind, but a lot of kids still getting left behind.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. And like I said, the way you just explained it now, that's a good approach, because you do got to approach them from different angles like that, because like when you try to shove, like, I guess, church into their face, they just, you know, they back away.
I did that.
You know,
my grandma used to be like, "Are you going to church this morning?" And I'd be like, "I'm rolling, but I don't know if I'm going to church." Like, I had my own thing, and one thing that really helped me was getting into self-esteem and getting into a lot of my friends in college. They started doing these things called positive affirmations, which is where you spend a couple minutes in the mirror, you know, just pouring into yourself, like, yeah, you look good. Like, making yourself feel good from, like, bringing the inside out, not trying to have the outside in, if you get what I'm saying.
And that's a good point I want to go to, too. A lot of, do a lot of women, especially black women, do you guys go through self-esteem issues when it comes to looks? And,
definitely.
Like, where does that stem from? And, like, what goes on in your head, like, about comparing yourself to other women?
It's okay. So first off, for me, it was like getting cheated on. That was one thing that like broke my self-esteem, and me not. I don't know. Growing up, I didn't feel like I was pretty because I didn't look like other girls around me. Like, I was darker with long hair. And a lot of people used to always be like, "Oh, she got to be mixed with something." I'd be like, "Dang, why can't I just be black?" Yeah, like, why I got to be something else to have nice hair? Not knowing, like, I dug into my roots and we are mixed with different things, but still, like, I believe that everything originated from Africa.
Yeah, long hair, all types of noses.
Like, I studied, my minor was Black American Studies, so I was like, okay, I may be black, but even if my family is black and they're like, my family, they're black, but my great-great-grandfather was Jamaican. That's still black. And then on the other side, my great-great-grandmother, she was Native American. Okay, that's native to the land, but like what I'm mixed with it's not going to define me. I'm black. When you see me, you see a black face.
Yeah, yep.
So it was just getting into knowing different ethnicities, nationalities, and really studying like the origin and stuff, so I could be a black woman, like what you see.
Yeah, and the reason I asked you that is because like it's me. I try my best to like always just be nice to everybody, and I know like sometimes like friends of mine, if they say like they feel ugly or things like that because a guy probably ain't hit them back at things like that, it's like. They think they ugly because they dark.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I say like, no, you're not and everything, but it's like, I don't know how they actually feel though, you know, because I'm not a woman. I don't, and then they look at their weight and things. It's just like
it's too much.
Like, yeah, you know, it's like I don't. The thing is, I'm doing my best. You know? But as another woman, like, what advice could you give them, or like, what could I say to help them feel better?
What I usually do is I compliment women so they feel pretty, but I try not to make it like I'm flirting with them. It's just, you know, you're pretty in your own way. What I used to tell myself, like when I was trying to build myself back up, is nobody is you. Look around, like you one of one, and yeah, she may be this, she may be that, but she's still not you. It's not even like being cocky, it's just being real with yourself. Like you're one of a kind, and we were all made in His image. So if I can find something in myself that I like that I could play on, you can do the same thing too.
And also, a lot of women, you know, you guys go through a lot when it comes to, you know, sexual harassment and guys trying to grope you and things like that. You don't got to name any names, but did anything ever happen where somebody tried to grope you or come at you the wrong way in certain settings? Or did you deal with that kind of a lot?
I dealt with it a lot, and I tried to like, I don't know. I tried to like just protect myself and my girlfriend in the situation, because you know how the movies is $5 Tuesday. I think we went one time, and this guy was like pressing both of us because I dress up nice, you know. And he was like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "No, we good. No, we good. Like we really good." But I don't know why men are so like, why some men take rejection so hard.
I look back. Sometimes I be like, man, I'll be ashamed of the species, because like for a lot of like, I guess I don't want to call myself a square, but like I'm really like a gentleman, and I'm really nice, and if I feel like a girl don't want me right there, I'm not even, that's it.
Some men don't know how to read that though. They don't know how to read that a woman is really uncomfortable. It's not a joke. Like you're really making her uncomfortable. And that's where I think the problem comes in, because they take it as, oh, she's just like, she'll come back around. No, she's being that serious.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because I watched one of Dave Chappelle's recent specials where he was just like, when he was walking around with $100,000 or whatever like that, he realized how it felt to be a woman, because you know you guys walking around, you got vaginas. Yeah. So it's like every day somebody's just on the attack. Every day somebody's trying to come at y'all. Like you probably can't even walk around New York without getting catcalled or somebody grabbing you. And I'm just like,
I see. It's a difference if you're like, yo, but to go and physically, like, that makes some women, and I'll just be like, nigga, you just touched me.
Yeah. So alright, so you got that. You're a black woman. So we talk about self-esteem issues, the mental issues. What else? We basically got into a lot, and what I want to like kind of finish off with, I guess, is just more advice about like the black mental health thing. Okay. So like when it came to like if I was going through something, like you said, we're trying to work. You know, we'll try to like avoid it, not really try to think about like why we're dealing with certain things. But like a lot of people in the white community, they automatically go to they could see a mice get ran over, they
gonna take their kid. Yeah. I was in my counselor's office one time. I seen a little girl. She was white. She was as young as probably like 9 or 10 years old. If you see signs early, or if you notice something off about yourself, I don't care if it's as small as anxiety, go and talk to somebody, because I promise you it will help you. It really will. It won't be like you're dealing with it on a day-to-day, but if you notice that you are like feeling these feelings for extended periods of time, go get some help.
All right. And when is the program starting again?
Starts February 9th. It's going to be at the Claymore Senior Center, 504 West Claymore Street. Anybody have any questions, you could either, I put it on Instagram, but you could hit my direct line, 302-898-0180.
All right. And anybody's welcome?
Anybody is welcome.
Okay. And you plan to just carry this on like forever? Basically?
Forever. This is just phase one. And I plan on packing that, like it's going to be a back room. Plan on packing that out, and then once we do that, just looking for a new space to have it.
All right. Well, it was great having you.
Thank you.
Shoot, hopefully in the summer we can talk more about what your program has been like and how it's helped people. And from there on, you know, we'll just stay tuned.
Yes.